Afternoon, everyone. How are we doing? Welcome to the first Facebook Live of the year. Now, we haven't done these in a little while. I know we did a few to tail end of last year, but we're working on a more sort of comprehensive suite of communications, Facebook Lives, webinars, podcasts. So we're in the planning stages of those at the moment. So we're a little bit delayed with some of the Facebook Lives that we've been doing. But I'm here back with you on Friday. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. So today we're going to be talking a bit about campaign funnels. Now, this is a similar presentation to what I presented at the last Nest Business Booster. So if you're at that presentation, some of this might seem familiar to you. But from that conversation, we discussed some of the ideas that are in this presentation, and a couple of clients went out and implemented those ideas that came out of that conversation. And I've got a real life example for you here today. So campaign funnels. Now, funnels, marketing funnels, sales funnels, this is a term that you've probably heard thrown around quite a lot at the moment. It's kind of a bit of a buzzword at the moment. But what is a funnel, and why are we talking about it today? So simply put, a funnel is simply the sequence by which customers move from awareness to a purchase. So I've got an example here to show you what that means. Sorry, I think the machine's frozen. There we go. So if you've been to our conferences before, you would have heard us talk about awareness campaigns, consideration campaigns, conversion campaigns, and loyalty campaigns, or just customer loyalty, customer advocates. So Google calls this see, think, do, care. A quite traditional way of thinking about it is awareness, consideration, conversion. What does that mean? So everybody has, I imagine most people watching this have a smartphone. You might have a Samsung or an iPhone or a generic Android. But when did they come out? 11, 12 years ago? I imagine that most of you saw maybe Steve Jobs present it on stage or saw it on the news the next day, and you thought to yourself, oh, that's interesting. I don't think I need that yet. You didn't go out and buy it the first day. You might think, I don't need a computer in my pocket. But you became aware of this new type of product for the first time, the smartphone. And then you maybe saw people using it out and about. You maybe had a go with one yourself, went into a store, had a go. That's when you're in the consideration phase. And you're thinking, actually, this is quite a good device. Maybe I do need this in my life. And then you make the decision to purchase, and that is the conversion. And I imagine if you went out and bought an iPhone or a Samsung so many years ago, you will buy a new iPhone next time you're up for your contract's renewal, or it's time for... Sorry, Elliot's just telling me to slow down. We've got signs everywhere telling me this is the way to point, look at the camera, smile. So you'll buy the same device every time because you are now a loyal customer. You've become a brand advocate. And if somebody says, what phone do you have? You probably, if you're like me, you have quite a few opinions on the subject, and you'll tell people that their decision's wrong. There's a bit of a warfare against Android users and iPhone users, same with Mac users and PC users. You're a loyal advocate of that brand. But 10 years ago, you didn't even know it existed. You just became aware of the brand. So that's the kind of process we're looking for today. Every part of this process has several different stages. You might be in the awareness. You might be in the awareness stage for a long time, consideration stage for a long time. It might take you many touch points with a brand to decide to make that conversion and to purchase the product, or in your guys' case, take that free trial lesson and sign up to a martial arts class. But we'll go into that in a bit more detail. So this is the same sort of thing. You go from completely unaware to a fan of the brand. So this is a campaign funnel that I have just put out. Now, I don't expect everybody to read this and sort of go into the detail of this, but this is just kind of to illustrate the complexities of somebody finding out about you and then becoming one of your students. You see over on the far hand side here, say somebody sees a Facebook ad of yours, or they search for you on Google and come across your website, or maybe a LinkedIn post, an Instagram post, or maybe somebody just tells them, oh, I do martial arts, here's, go to the website, have a look at them, and they'll land on your homepage for the first time. They might just look at your homepage, think, oh, they're just down the road, and then leave your site and not actually make a booking. Now, you might have several remarketing campaigns set up to send them back to your site, or somebody might think, oh, I saw that karate class a while ago, let's do some more research on that. And then they'll come back to your site. They're in this consideration phase where they're still thinking about taking the product. So they come back to your site, and then they maybe go to the booking page. If you've got booking in online, the booking widget, or one of our MyMA sites, they'll go to that page and make that free trial booking. Great, that's the kind of the first conversion. We've kind of got two conversions in our funnel here. There's the free trial conversion, and then there's actually becoming a student and signing up with direct debit. Excuse me. So once they've made a booking, Nest Systems will send them an email, a text. You might have your own email template set up to try and nurture that lead a little bit and make sure they turn up to the free trial class. Once they've turned up to the free trial class, then you've got to close the deal again and try and get them to sign up. And after that, they become a brand advocate. So we've got awareness stage, quite a long consideration stage for becoming a martial arts student, and then the conversion. And then hopefully they are a loyal brand advocate of yours. They're out there in the world saying, oh, I love doing Karate XYZ Academy. You guys should come along. And that's where you refer a friend, schemes come in, and that kind of process. Okay, so the question today is your funnel leaking? Is there part of that process where you're losing too many people? It could be right at the beginning, you might not be getting enough leads, and by the time it trickles down to the bottom of the funnel where you've got less people, that's the nature of the beast, there's too few there to be sustainable, so you need to get more leads. Or it could be that people aren't turning up to the free trial class, you're losing them at that point. At some point in this process, there's going to be some weak links, and we need to sort of analyze that process and tighten up the links. So when I asked this question at the booster, I said, who's not getting enough leads? Where is, whose funnel is leaking right at the top? Everyone said, yes, I'm not getting enough leads. How many people think that people not showing up, students not showing up is the problem? About half the room. And nobody thought that students not signing up was the issue. Everybody thinks that once they come and try the free trial class, they're hooked, they'll definitely do it. But have a look at your numbers, make sure that is the case. So let's discuss those potential sort of dropout points of the funnel one at a time. Not enough leads is the one that we hear a lot. So how do you get more people aware of your brand in this top stage of the funnel? You've got to reach as many people as possible so that you can get a sort of smaller amount, but still a decent amount to consider taking a class of you. So this is the conversation that we had at the Business Booster, and we had a few ideas knocking around about sending people a offer for to win a gift voucher, or you could offer somebody a scholarship. And this is one of the ideas that one of the people in the presentation said, oh, I've done a scholarship before, it actually worked really well for me. So we sort of went with that idea. And JC, who runs one of the schools that we work with, did this campaign, and I spoke to JC, and he's given me permission to share some of this information with you. So what JC did is he ran a competition for a free scholarship. And the idea of this is to get as many people interested as possible. It was a really broad campaign, free karate for a year, really exciting, sign up now, and we used the Facebook lead generation form as our capture device here, rather than sending people to a site. The reason was we wanted to make it as easy as possible to capture that information. And if you use a lead generation form on Facebook, then it will pre-fill the user's name and email address and maybe phone number if they've got that information on Facebook. And then you can ask just one question here. I think we said something about fitness goals. I can't quite read that, but you can say, what are your fitness goals for 2020? Or are you signing up for yourself or a child? You can ask one sort of qualifying question at the end there. And then the data is imported onto Facebook. You can download that, import the information into MyMA as leads, and then send them any information about your class. So I'm going to show you the video that we made, or that JC made, and we added subtitles to here. I'm going to step out of frame so we can watch this without me standing
Hello,
there.
I'm JC Cashman, the SKF Martial Art Dojo Chief Instructor here in Broadfield, Crawley, and we're offering for 2020 a offer that we've never done before, super excited about this, a scholarship for the year. And in the season as we come into of Goodwill, we are giving 1 year free unlimited membership at our dojo. There is going to be a limited 20 applicants to this. They're going to be invited to a trial process. So if you are interested, please respond to this message. And then in January, we will then make a draw from the trial for a 1 year free membership scholarship at our dojo. All family, everyone is welcome from all ages. We cater for our dojo, and our existing members, we also have an offer for you too. So watch this space.
All right, thanks, JC. That was great. Okay, I'm going to go back to the ad here, and we'll have a look at that. I've got a printout here, so we can have a look because I can't quite see the screen. But basically, I'm going to walk you through the reasons that we used each part of the ad, and I'll break that down a little bit for you. On the headline, we used an emoji, which I recommend all the time. I know we always talk about using emojis in your ad copy, but it does grab the eye, and it does help your click-through rate. More people tend to engage with posts that have something visual like this. And that's another reason we did video. Again, it is engaging, it's eye-catching. People tend to engage with video more, and also video is great for remarketing, which is the point I will go to in a minute. So we had the little gi emoji that we use, and then said Crawley, which is where JC's based. Don't miss this offer. So we're based in Nottingham here. If I saw an ad on Facebook that said Nottingham, great offer for you, the first word I think, oh, this appeals to me. This is me that they're talking to because I live in Nottingham. So you're grabbing their attention with the first word. Don't miss this offer. What is the offer? You sort of enticing them a little bit. And then we had attention Crawley, again mentioning the town, the city, try and grab their attention. And then we had this sort of personal text from JC. He was saying, I'm JC, the chief instructor at SKF Karate Dojo. Early next year, we'll be giving one lucky winner a full year free unlimited membership at the dojo. The scholarship's open to children and adults, but we're only taking 20 applicants. Now, we kept it at 20 because that creates scarcity. That creates this kind of hook thing. Well, I better sign up now. There's only 20 applicants going. They could have already had 19. And then, you're pushed to fill in the form that will pre-populate with your data. To apply for the scholarship or for yourself or your child, click apply now. I always think it's good to tell people exactly what to do in the ad copy. Mention the call to action. If you say use the sign up button on your ads, say click sign up now. And if we're using the apply now, use that one. Applicants will be invited to a trial process, and we will announce the winner in January. Only 20 people will a chance to win. So again, we're sort of reinforcing that idea of scarcity. So just to sum up, the idea here is to get as many people interested as possible. So if you think about giving, a year's scholarship is quite an offer, and the idea of that is to get as many people as possible. You could do 3 months, you could do 6 months. If you don't think giving away an entire year is sort of something that you can physically do, you can't support that level of financial loss by giving away one place. But if you got 5, 6, 7, 12 sign-ups from giving away one scholarship and those people stayed with you for a year, then it's probably worth it. You can see it as part of the ad spend. See giving away that scholarship as part of what you would spend on the campaign. Because if you get enough people involved and you get them to your free trial process, or in this case the 2 weeks trial process that JC ran to try and get them interested, and the open day that he did, and sort of nurture those leads as it goes along, more people will sign up.
Hello.
So just for your information here, this is the targeting we used. I do have the information here. We've recently refined some of the targeting methods. If you have the Facebook pixel set up on your site and you've had that running for a few months, you probably have enough data to run a lookalike audience. So you know the kind of person that interacts with your brand. If you're not sure what I mean by lookalike audience, on MyMA there is the digital marketing for martial arts schools download. We'll go into in much more detail than I have time for here what I mean by remarketing and how to set up these audiences. But because this was a broad campaign aimed at adults and children, we set the targeting just at a radius around JC's school, and then anyone that was interested in physical fitness, and you can add a couple of more interests down below to try and broaden that out a little bit. And we kept the age range really, really broad, and kept the gender at all, just because this was really open to anybody, and we were just trying to get as many people interested as possible. You might notice up here that we have excluded those who have already made a booking. So we have the pixel installed on JC's site, and anyone that has previously made a booking, they are excluded from the ad list. So we're not hitting people who have already converted. So we're not wasting any of our ad spend, basically. And that is a good practice to get into. So that's a top of funnel idea. I'm just going to briefly run through another one. You could do a happy birthday, a karate party, or a martial arts birthday party. Facebook does let you target people who have an upcoming birthday, but unfortunately it doesn't let you target people who have a child with an upcoming birthday. So you have to run this again as a very broad campaign, but you can say to people, we do run birthday parties. If you run birthday parties already in your dojo, you might know the financial cost of this and what you need to put on. But the idea is to get as many people interested as possible. Hopefully they will click the learn more, go to your site, and you can remarket to those, which again I'll go into in a minute. And you can send them to a landing page we can set up on MyMA for you with a bit more information and a link to book the birthday party. And obviously, how many kids are going to come to this party? It won't just be the kid who has the birthday. You're going to get a lot of prospects potentially coming through the door. They might say, the parents will say, oh, it's nice here, it's a clean modern dojo, and the kids seem to be having a great time. The instructor seems to know what he's on about. He's got a great rapport with the kids. Let's talk to him after the party and see, is this the right sort of thing for my kid? You get more people in the door. You can also run things like Easter camps and summer camps, we've got some material coming out that will sort of give you some ideas about things to do with that. And if you want any of these graphics, just message me after the Facebook Live and I can send you any of these. We'll have a new suite of those coming out soon. Send people to the landing page and try and capture their data. So you're getting a lot of people who maybe aren't interested in martial arts at the moment. You're getting the top end of the funnel, more people, getting them through the door, and then you can nurture those leads. So I've mentioned the term remarketing a couple of times here. So let's go into that a little bit more, because this is where you are hitting people who are in that consideration phase. They're already aware of you at this point. They've either come to one of your classes, or they have clicked on one of the links, or they've interacted with your site in some way. They might have just found you on Google. You can hit those people again with ads, and there's a few ways to do that. So remarketing basically is a user looks at your site or clicks a call to action button or sees your Facebook page. They leave the site, you send them a remarketing ad, and it will send them back to an earlier point in the funnel where you want them to convert. So what we do with a few ads is that you can run a video as an ad, as we did with JC's ad, and then you can target people who have watched a certain percentage of that video. So JC's ad was quite long. If you watched 80% of that video, chances are you're interested in what this person has to say. You sort of think you are considering their message and considering taking the action they want you to take. But maybe you don't take that action straight away and you leave and come back to it and it's not in your mind anymore. You can target people who have watched 80%, 50%, 20% of a video on Facebook if you're running that video as a paid ad, and hit them again with remarketing. You can do the same thing if somebody lands on your website and you have the Facebook pixel set up. You can send them remarketing messages again. And if somebody has clicked on a call to action button or liked your page on Facebook, again, these are other methods that you can use to create lists on Facebook and remarket to those users. So you're getting them in this consideration phase. They become aware of you, and you're hitting them again with more messages to kind of nurture that lead, nurture that consideration phase. This is an example of a remarketing ad that we've suggested. And remarketing ads, they're great if you can give them an additional offer, because maybe somebody's landed on your page and they've decided, no, it's not quite for me, but they're almost there. This is when you can hit them with an offer. And what we've done here is we've said you can have an image that says it's an online only offer. There's some text here that guides you to the landing page where it says it's a Facebook only special offer. Now what that offer is, it's up to you. If you've ran offers before, you can have a 3 months training, free uniform, no membership fee, something like that if they sign up and take the lesson. Some people do giveaways if you come to the free trial lesson. It doesn't really matter what the offer is, but you are sweetening the deal at this point with the remarketing list. Now I mentioned before when I showed you JC's ad that we ran for him that we had excluded people who had booked in previously. That's a good idea if you're going to run one of these remarketing ads, because you've sent people to the site, they've booked, and then they see an ad that gives them a better offer than they've already got. They might be sort of a little bit annoyed about that. This is an offer for people who are in the consideration phase, not those that have already converted. So you can set up an audience on Facebook to exclude those who have already taken the action you want them to take, in this case making the free trial booking. This is just an example. Landing page has some reviews, booking information, says that it's a Facebook only special offer, gives that sort of exclusivity to the offer and encourages people to book. So that's a couple of ideas about how to reach more people and to get more people in this top end of the funnel. So if you guys have any ideas, if you ran any successful top funnel campaigns recently, definitely put it in the comments, and I've got my laptop next to me here. I'll answer any questions that you've got about that. But remember, it doesn't stop. The funnel doesn't stop once you've got that lead. You need to get them to the free trial lesson, and then you need to convert them into a paying student. So what about people that don't show up? Now we've mentioned this statistic loads, but we look at all the data from all the schools, and we can say that around 50% of people that are booking online don't turn up to the lesson. Now that is a really broad figure, and some people do this really well, and some people get 80%, and some people get 20% turning up. So what do you do to get higher, close to the 80%, the best in game, and get more people to turn up for the free trial lesson? So we've mentioned this before, and I will put a link after this video into the description, into the comments of this video, about sending a video out. Now if you've got somebody's mobile number and they've made a booking, or you've got the email and they've made a booking, you can send them a video with your face on it saying, thank you so much for booking, we can't wait to see you, this is our dojo. I know some of you have already set this up, but you can sort of humanize yourself a little bit, get them to come along, and they'll feel like they're letting you down if they've seen you in the flesh. But with a video, with one of these videos. And you can set this up with an automation to send it to people. And also, if somebody books in and then doesn't show up, don't just think, well, they're not interested, I'll leave them. That is a red hot prospect that just maybe life got in the way and they didn't make it to your lesson. So make sure you set up one of these automations. Now, we've got this automation here, so I'm just making sure I'm telling you the right name. This is the appointment booked trigger on the MyMA automation system. So what you can do is you can set up a automation saying the appointment's been booked, and then down here you can see appointment attendance not attended. So if you take attendance in your class using MyMA, then you will exclude people who have attended, and then this trigger will only go once they have not attended the class. And then 1 day after, 2 days after, however long you set it, you can send them an email saying, oh, I'm sorry you didn't show up to the class, don't worry about it, we can rebook you, here's my number, give me a call at any time. Try and re-engage that person who has dropped out at that point. We have got an email template, which again I'm happy to share with you. This is one that we set up for a school. And I'll read the text that I've used because we've written this in a certain way. It says, according to our records, you recently booked in a free martial arts taster lesson with us, but did not attend. We understand that sometimes life gets in the way. Don't worry, we can rebook you at any time if you're still interested in improving your child's fitness, concentration, memory, confidence, and self-defense skills. If you want to rebook, just give me a call. So this reinforces the fact that this reinforces the reasons they booked in to begin with when it's mentioning fitness, concentration, and memory. It says that you understand the reasons and you're not annoyed. Some people are embarrassed that they didn't come. You understand the reasons they might not have come. Reinforces the messages, said, don't worry about it, give us a call. And if you've used the automation system before, you will know that you can set different automations to go to adults classes than children's classes. This is obviously a template that works better with children, but you can send different people different messages to try and get them to rebook and come again, so you don't lose them at that part of the funnel. Finally, what was the last point? It was those that do not sign up. Now, I can't tell you what to do in your dojo. Obviously, you have your own sales process. You have a method to try and get people to sign up once they've come and taken the class. But try and analyze that method. Are you losing people at that point? Do people come and take the free trial and engage with you, and then do they leave? What's the reason they leave? They might really enjoy the class, but you don't have the sort of sales skills to sort of push them into making that, signing that direct debit and becoming a full-time student. Maybe they need another free trial class, maybe they need something. Just think about your methods to make sure you're not too busy at the end of class and there's people that you are talking to and other people who have come to the free trial class leave, sort of make sure you're engaging them. And just have a look at your numbers and see when people are leaving you. See what your intro to trial, booking to trial, and then trial to new student numbers are, and see if you can pinpoint where the weak point in your funnel is. Okay guys, let me just have a look to see if we've got any questions. There's no questions that come on while I'm doing this live, but this comment section is live quite a while now. So if you've got any questions, just put them below and we'll answer them. And if you want any of the materials that I've shown in this presentation, just let me know and I can email them to you. Okay, thanks for watching guys.